Now then everybody, it's Dan from homephysique.com, making this little video just basically to give people a bit of an idea what you need to look into when it comes to buying yourself a barbell for your home gym. If you're setting up a new home gym, you may be seeing all these different types of barbell and wondering which one's the right one for you. Now, me myself, I bought a cheap barbell to begin with, so I've learned the hard way that over time they do end up being a bit tatty, and it does pay to pay for a decent one, so it helps to spend a bit of money. Okay, so the first barbell that I've got here is my original Body Power barbell. Now this bar, it's a cheap bar. You can pick them up really cheap. It's only rated to about £700. Now a lot of people say, well, £700, that's a lot of weight. Can you deadlift £700? Can you squat it? You know, some people can squat that obviously, but I can't. But the fact is that because it's so low rated and it's a cheap bar, the way to attain that strength, they have to use a thicker bar. This is actually 32mm, and so it's a fatter bar. It's harder to grip. You know, if you're trying to do hook grip or anything like that, you find that you might not be able to get your hand around it properly, and you'll struggle with the grip. The knurling on this, basically this here is your knurling. It's very soft. There's hardly any grip on this at all. It's literally flat, smooth, just a quick diamond. There is literally no grip on it. It is very smooth. It's very kind on your hands. The spin on it, when you look at spin, is how much your sleeves are gonna rotate, how freely, you know. The thing with this one, if you can see, is it's held in with a cap screw at the end, and what you've got inside here is a brass bush. Now what happens is that this cap screw actually becomes loose as the sleeve rotates, so you have to make sure you keep nipping these up. Otherwise what happens is, in time, these become loose, your brass bush is no longer central and it wears it down. So then what happens is you find that your sleeve starts to stick, so it no longer rotates. And basically when you're lifting weights, you do want it to rotate slightly, otherwise it places a lot of strain on your wrists, you know, the rotational force. So as you're lifting, you want it to rotate with the inertia as you're pulling it. When you're doing things like Olympic lifts, you know, weightlifting, snatches, cleans and jack, you want a bar that is really free spinning. You want one that can spin really fast, because you're putting a lot of inertia through it, you're flicking it up, and the plates need to spin. If they don't, you're going to have a really shit time with your snatch and your clean and jack. The other thing that you look at in a bar is what's known as its flexibility, its whip. You know, you need to know how flexy it is, how whippy it is. If you're going for weightlifting, you want one that's going to be really whippy. So basically, as you pull the bar, it'll bend straight away. You'll see it bending. But they do have a high tensile strength. That's why they can get away with it. And as you're pulling the bar up, it'll flick, and it'll just basically makes things a lot more explosive. When you're doing powerlifting, you don't really want a very whippy bar. It wants to be quite stiff. For squat, people use 32mm bars a lot of the time because they prefer that thicker bar. Same with benching. I found recently that I prefer this bar, even though it's cheap, compared to my new bar for benching. So, like I say, it has got its purpose. But there you go. That's basically all there is to these. Like I say, 7 foot is generally the standard length. They all weigh 20 kilos, so that's what you need to be looking at. The only things that generally tend to change is the diameter, but the official IPF ones I think are 28mm or 28.5mm or something like that. Anyway, so this bar here is the Texas Power Bar. Like you can see, it's different. This is a fully sealed unit. You've got basically a capped end. It's maintenance free. There's no reason to need to do anything to this bar now. You can see how easily it spins. I'm literally just flicking it with my thumb and it's turning freely. It's a much smoother, nicer bar. It rotates better. It's held in by some split pins there, like you can see. Now the knurling on this bar, like you see, it's a lot sharper. It's very deep, it's making a mess of my hands. It's very deep and there's a lot of grip there. It really is sharp knurling. Now for some people that might be a bit extreme at first, but if you're used to, say, manual labour or anything like that, you won't have a problem with it. And if it was too much for you, then you could just lather it up with chalk anyway, you'll be fine. This is, like I said, 28.5mm diameter, and it's a hell of a lot easier to grip. I've found for the pen lay rows and deadlift, it's just so much easier. I mean, I could double overhand grip on this so much easier than I can that bar. Other things to take into account is like the markings on the bar are slightly different on this one. Because I've been benching on that one, which are the unofficial markings, when I came to bench on this, I set up slightly different because I was used to holding it in a certain way, and basically it sort of messed me up a little bit. But that's one thing you've got to take into account, is that you might find that the markings are different on bars. You might use a bar at the gym, buy yourself a new bar, and find that you're not used to the markings there, so you have to learn it all over again. But like I say, with this one, there is a bit of whip in it, but not a lot. There's just enough as I can feel it, as when I'm pulling off, I can feel the slack coming out of the bar a lot better than this one. This one has a much higher tensile strength. This one has it's rated to 1,500 pounds, this one. And like I say, that's why you're paying for a more quality bar. It has a higher tensile strength, but it's a thinner bar. And that's because it's, well, they say it's a stronger piece of metal. So that's pretty much it when you are looking at buying a barbell. These are the things that you need to take into account. Quickly run it down. Weightlifting / Olympic lifting. You want a bar that's got lots of nice spin, relatively light nailing on it, and lots of flex in the bar, real whippy bar. Powerlifting, you're going to want, same again, a thin bar, or at least the standard, which is like 28.5 mil. If you go for that, you're going to have like an all-round bar. If you go for a thicker bar, you might find it's difficult to deadlift with, but you want one that is a little bit more stiffer, slight spin on the bar. You want it to do it, but you don't want it to be if it's spinning in your hands when you're deadlifting, it's going to pull you forward. Simple as that. And you want sharp nailing, better grip. Simple as that. So that's what you want to be looking at. Anyway, there's other things as well. Like I say, you can see the trap bar back there. That's more like a speciality bar. That's the type of bar that you would buy if you wanted to, like I say, do specific exercises. Like you can't bench with that. Well, you might be able to at a push, but you can't squat with it, you can't bench with it, so it's a one-off bar, do you know what I mean? It's something you buy as an additional piece of kit. So there you go. Anyway, please like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers now.